Good Memorial Day weekend. I am going to, hopefully today, here in just a little bit, change the engine oil on the starboard engine on the boat. You probably hear it in the background right now. Both engines are running. I want to get the engine oil warmed up. I need to change the engine oil on that engine particularly because I replaced the head gasket a few months, 6 months plus back. That was a long process. There'll be a video on that coming up. And when you do that with the head off, when you're cleaning and doing all kinds of stuff, you get particulates and matter. And I took out and ran the engine once to make sure everything was working right. But you really want to change the engine oil after that to get all that junk out of there. So I haven't had time because I've been on cars and transmissions, and again, video on those coming up. But today we're going to try to do just a quick oil change on that. While I'm at it, I'm also going to change oil. It's going to be a little loud out here on the which is right here. It's a Westerbeke generator. And the one thing I'm going to also do probably tomorrow is when I try to crank this over, it doesn't turn over. It is right away. Usually if I repeatedly, I think the starter is the issue, probably a solenoid. So like if I turn this, if you watch the amps here, now it's working, of course. Oh, it started and then it quit. So it did. You hear that? You probably can't. Now it's giving me a click. The battery's good. I've replaced that. So almost guaranteed that's a starter and pretty typical. Oh, it started again for a bit. I'm going to try and give it a little more preheat. Even though it's 85, 86, these things can sometimes need, remember that from tractors back on the farms that I once in a great while got to work, not work on, but work with. And once again, now we're getting nothing. Could be the switch, but I hear nothing. We may have just lost the starter. So I'm gonna have to dig into that. That's just normal, it's a boat project. Typically starts like this. At the same time, if I let that sit for a bit, I also need to check, even though it's a newer battery, gotta check it, because sometimes they don't top off. While we're waiting, boy is it dusty in here. These are old gauges. Just checking temperatures. We're good on that. I just want to get this up to working temp, and then I'll let it cool down while I mess around with the generator. I was hoping to change the generator oil too, but I am not getting anything now. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and get on debugging on that boat project. It's always something, and I suspect that the starter is probably out, which means I'll probably have to pull that off and check the solenoid and other items. If not, if that's still good, I probably could jump it here. Although I do think there's a potential starter switch on it, so I'll have to do some. I just haven't messed with this generator that much, and I plan to going forward. I have a lot of plans for this, but anyway, I'll update you soon. We'll see what's going on. All right, let's see if we can get this to work. I'm not sure if you can hear me. Engine is so loud in the background, but when I test this, let's put this where you can see it. There you go. It's probably, so if I test this, you see it says 14. So that's good. That's good. And then let's see if I can move you over here. Then if I come down here and go to the positive on the starter, doesn't really matter. And I put this down here. Let's see if I can hold this and touch this. all at the same time. Okay, we got 14 here too. There we go. So what that's telling us is we've got power to the starter. So it is the starter itself that we've got the issue with, most likely. Now we can still have a switch issue, and if we do, you know, that can cause the exact same thing if it's like turning sometimes and not making connection. But to test that, I think there's a switch down there to start it from down there. If not, I can do a little jump and jump it, and we'll find out. I'm just checking the temperature. Yeah, we're good. We're going to turn off the engines. It's a good run for those. All right, so I'm gonna do a little more debugging, but we know what I was saying in case you couldn't hear me. We have power. The battery's good, 14. It's being topped off. It's fantastic. And if you go over and across, and when I test at the starter, it's delivering that 14 all the way across, which I would expect. So we could have a bad switch up in the control panel. The ground is good because we tested that. The other thing is, of course, solenoid. Those go out and you get like this. So we're gonna test. I'm gonna do a few tests and see exactly if I can get it to and test at the starter. Probably jump it, see if it does anything. If it does, then I know it's from the switch. The ignition switch. In this instance, it's not an ignition switch, but the switch down to the generator. So we're going to continue to debug. We'll see what we got. I'll update you soon. In the middle of taking off the starter so I can get better access. In fact, anyway, positive's off. First, disconnect the battery. Then positive is off. And I didn't have to take the ground off. I did anyway. Fine, we'll clean that up. It's good practice. Bolt here. I think there's a bolt down on the bottom too. I'm gonna have to get down there. I'm gonna have to take this off so I can take this panel off. There's a box that fits around this generator, kind of sound deadening and stuff, and contains it. Probably also heat suppression, but I've got to take this side off here so I can get down and under this thing. Maybe we can see. Can't quite. Yeah, that's the upper. Yeah. So anyway, I got to take that off, which means this coolant hose, because the overflow is right there. I think that's the only thing we got on here in our way. So pull that off. Get that bolt. There was one you can kind of see right down here. Let's see if I can get you. There it is. There, this goes onto a post right here, and then there's another nut. See if you can see this. There's another nut right here that I have to take off, and there's a couple of wires there. And then it should slide out, and we can do some testing on it and see what we're dealing with as far as that goes. So I'll update you here in a bit. Alright, so we can test out the starter now. I have jumper cables that are running down to the battery down and in the compartment back there. I have positive side here, and if we look, I'll bring you over here. I have you kind of set up to make it easier for me to be able to show you from the side, but I basically can take this and I can engage the starter. You can hear it. Yes, it's sparking, I know, but you can hear it. The starter motor, this goes from here to the starter motor. The starter motor is working. Next, and if I turn you to the side here and I do this, you can see it spin. So that's working. Next, we want to see if we can get it to, I guess, actuate here. Yep. And what I'm doing there is I'm touching that little, this is from the ignition side. Yep. So that's all this solenoid is working. The motor's working. And so we know that this is good. So the next thing I need to do is go and test the wires down in the compartment and see if that one's going to be a little tough. I'll probably set the camera up and point it at the multimeter and have it hooked up so that when I flip the switch up there, turn it, I can see on here if we're getting the voltage that we need. And if we are, then I know we're good. If not, and it could have just been something loose or not grounding correctly or anything else. But if I don't, then I know that that we basically have an issue from, not from the starter, but from here up to there, which is a long run. And most likely I'd start up at the switch and the control panel up there. There's a switch. I'm sure there's potentially a fuse and everything up there. In between, I'd have to take a look. So anyway, good news is the starter and the solenoid are functioning properly. So we know that we can check those items off the list. And now we do the next step. Well, you might hear it in the background, but after cleaning everything, all the ground, both ground terminals, the battery cables that came over the positive, both ends, it started to kick over pretty well. So it is running. Yeah, but unfortunately today, that's probably going to do it. Honestly, I'm not going to get to change the oil, but I'll do that tomorrow. But that's been a problem. I'm going to turn this off. Hold on. There we go. It's been a problem for a while, and so that's a good one to kind of figure out, given everything that happened. So I'm gonna actually try and start again. Yeah, so I mean it'll start. It's a little, it needs a run. It hasn't run a lot, as we hear. Anyway, we'll get it running again. I need to run this thing for hours. They're made to run, and I have hardly run this thing since ooh, see? Yeah, she's close, but I've hardly run it, and diesels just want to run. So I need to get that running, change oil, and then just run it probably, I don't know, hours. Let it run and get up to temperature, and I've already done that once. Oh, it wasn't that long ago, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. I try to run the engines and the generator every month, but I was having that starter issue, so I didn't get to do that for a number of months. So anyway, at least we figured that one out. Tomorrow, hopefully, change the starboard engine oil and the generator engine oil. We'll see. I'll update you soon.